There comes a point in Chuck collecting when a perfect toy of a character gets made, and no further toys attempting the same thing are necessary. A toy so great it is considered big by the vast majority. A toy of little flaws, bordering on being nitpicks. A toy you can be proud of. A toy which satisfies your desire for higher greatness, because there is no higher greatness. A toy which stops the race to achieve perfection. It doesn't need a reader. It doesn't need follow-ups. It is the definitive version of a character. And then they had to make a better one. This toy is like if your dad suddenly walked in on you having it with your girlfriend and slammed his big heavy balls on the table saying, "Oh, you call that a dick? This is a dick." This toy doesn't just demolish the previous one, but it changes your perspective on collecting as a whole, for better or for worse. On one hand, you can't help yourself but ask, what's the point? What's the point of buying this one if there will always be a better one in the future? And I know many people who still swear by Classics Voyager as if it's a second coming of Christ. Hell, even Siege still gets praise. But on the other hand, I want to ask you this. Is it really worth letting these releases pass you? Is it really worth dismissing the offerings of the current, living in the shadows of what was, unseeing the lights of what is? When does the waiting stop? But the true answer to that dilemma is, great toys remain great forever. They don't have expiration dates. The whole is infinite. You shouldn't be replacing the entries, but rather add to them. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This is supposed to roll at the end for the better effect. This toy is a marvel of Chuck engineering. It's what Hasbro can do if they aren't constrained by budget, even if that statement is contradictory, because this release absolutely had a specific budget, and most releases actually don't get budget limits. Look like they had less budget than what they're charging you for them. But this Autobot logo is a fool. Because this is the AS08 knockoff, and even though I will talk about it as if it wasn't, I'd have to use stock photos for the trailer talk, and I will touch on the issues of this knockoff, like right now. So how did I lose? Well, for starters, whoever was reverse engineering it didn't measure properly, so now both the shin panels and backpack love to come undone easily. And also the gas tanks are metal, so he's quite hefty and quite dense. And that's as much time I'm willing to waste on the KO discussion. And a quick rundown of shit I didn't get, which are basically the trailer and everything about the trailer, which I know a big selling point, but honestly I just don't give a fuck. But what did I get? The ion cannon, the ion axe, one of the best effects in the Matrix of Leadership, and look, as much as SS86 makes Earth-Thrust obsolete, it's not actually entirely the case. How? Simple. These two go for different things. One is hellbent on being cartoon accurate, just look at the shaping of his shins, and the other just tries to capture the essence of the character, leaving the shin wheels exposed and such. It still has a place to fill. Hell, you can use it as Earth mode Netflix universe Optimus. And for a time it was what SS86 is. And as mentioned earlier, they should be put side by side, not against each other. But what is SS86? The most accurate Chuck G1 Optimus Prime to date, and you're dead. Everyone who says it's not is either rage-baiting or mentally retarded. The whole toy just oozes with the "we actually gave a shit." Even the backpack. It's as small as it could have possibly been, given how it transforms. I'm not too keen on the blue ass piece. It only really serves silly purposes like not allowing Lux assembly to hinge back in robot mode, and filling in the gap in the Chuck mode. But while the side profile does look better without it, it also feels incomplete. And it does a cool trick of widening the torso in the Chuck mode. They even bothered to put the locking tabs with the shins on the pins as separate pieces, so they could be hidden away out of sight, cleaning up the shape. But it's not all perfect. The gaps in the elbows are jarring, and I don't get why this panel has a curve to it. It's certainly only there to be flush with the curvature of the calf, but it doesn't matter because this panel changes the profile of the leg, so not having the curvature in the front panel would have actually been more beneficial. The articulation highlights include butterfly turns forward and back, possible fingers, and I guess deep knees. Everything else is standard, but the angles have a locking tab, and on its own it's nothing exceptional as a whole, but on Chuck scale? Mind-blowing. I mean, yeah, I wish there was a toy joint, and there is enough room for it, but it's a known issue because you can point the heel down and that's your toe up. Also the smokestacks can swivel, and all of that allows for a good number of dynamic poses, and it's only slightly worse than a non-transforming model kit, and the transformation is no slouch either. For the most part it rules. and where it doesn't, it's just And this one does the thing where the legs don't turn around for the transformation. I mean, it would turn his upper torso around and then the waist, but you're only really turning the backpack around. The legs this time actually transform, but I don't wanna shit on Earthrise so much for not doing much with its legs, purely because it doesn't really need to do much to begin with. And this toy doesn't do the annoying thing of having either a fake roof or truck windows like so many much more expensive toys do. Newish is the worst offender, but it still has the fake grills. But unlike Earthrise, this one gets a pass, and it covers the thighs almost completely by both the back panels and this panel, which not only rotates 180, but also swirls this half around to change the color of the face inside, which is a neat nod to how MP44 folds entire sides of the truck into the shins. You can use the Earthrise turtle with it, which sounds like something only I would do. Despite being so inaccurate, it still has an outline for the stripe, which I might add myself at some point, and they finally sculpted in a door. Weird how it took them this long. I heard some people taking issues with the back of the cab, I don't see it. And that's pretty much it for the toy itself and what it represents. Not every review coming forward will be this philosophical. In any case, thank you for watching. I would really appreciate it if you like, subscribe, leave a comment and share the video wherever you can. I'm doing the reviews mostly for my own fun, but it's also nice knowing someone is actually watching them, and to not drag this for too long. Until next time.